Hey there guys, just want to let you know real quick that my movie In His Steps is now available at all your favorite Christian retailers. Head on over to inhisstepsmovie.com to find out where you can pick up your copy, or a couple copies, or copies for your friends or family, or however many you want to get. Thanks. Hey there guys, doing things a little different this week. Not doing the storyline. I'm not the storyteller right now. I'm out of character. This is just me, the real Zach, talking to you. I don't even have a script written for this episode. The movie that we're talking about this week had a very, I guess impact is probably the best word I can think of, but I don't know if it's 100% accurate. It's the story of Christian musician Rich Mullins. Is it worth watching? Find out when I look at Ragamuffin on this week's Indy Christian review. So, like I said, no notes, no script or anything on this one. Just me talking to you about this movie because it gave me feels. For those of you who don't know who Rich Mullins is, he was a contemporary Christian music artist from the 80s and early 90s. And he was unfortunately killed in a car accident in the early 90s. The movie Ragamuffin is Rich's life story as he's growing up, as he became a musician, and it goes into the struggles that he dealt with throughout his life, both with the music industry and personally. This movie, it's different, which is fitting considering Rich Mullins was kind of a different guy. It was a very well done movie. The story was very fascinating. It's kind of framed like it starts off with him being interviewed on a radio station, and is basically him telling his life story, and then he's basically narrating what we're seeing. The style works, and it was very well done, very well shot. The acting was great, and just some of the stuff he dealt with, and things that, especially in his childhood, that had repercussions all through his life. And things like, especially his relationship with his dad was very, very rough. And they did a really good job of showing just how much baggage that gave Rich all through his life. But one of the things that really struck me the most was just how it showed the struggle he went through in living a real Christian life. And for all his struggles, he really wanted and was really looking after a life that followed Christ in a very real and practical way. And I don't know, something about seeing it and the things that were said blew me away. I am the type who cries during movies. I will shed manly tears at certain moments, Charge of the Rohirrim and Return of the King, Order 66, True Friend. Those scenes will get me every time. But this, I was sobbing at the end of Ragamuffin. Actually, no, in the middle of it, about 2/3 of the way through it. And at the end of it, we had to stop the movie at one point because I was sobbing so hard. It just really... And it wasn't even so much that, wow, this is something totally new. And, I mean, a lot of it was, I guess, empathy for what he was going through. Because a lot of the struggles he was dealing with in how to live out his faith, and the loneliness and stuff like that he was going through, it just hit way home. It majorly hit home for me. I guess because I'll be real with you here. This is the struggles he went through. So many of them are struggles I've been dealing with for the last 15 plus years. So I don't know, just seeing it on film and just the way they talked about this stuff, and watching Rich Mullins, the character, going through this struggle, even dealing with with alcohol addiction, with depression, loneliness, isolation, and but then all with a desire to follow Christ, and he was completely sold out for him. It just, if this was a regular episode, I'd be using the VeggieTales clip. You know, I laughed, I cried, it moved me, Bob. But I don't know if I even really laughed. There may have been a couple spots where I laughed, because there is some good lighthearted moments, and he's got some good one-liners. But definitely more, I cried, it moved me, Bob. I don't know how many people will be touched the way I was. Like I said, it really, really hit me at a very personal level. But it's definitely worth watching this movie. It's a little different. It's a little rough. It's a little raw. There is some language. He struggled with alcoholism, so there's a lot of scenes of him drinking and getting drunk, but it's never portrayed as a good thing. It was just one of those aspects of his life that was a constant struggle for him. I think all of us Christians have something in our life that is a constant struggle for us. What we think of as major and minor sins, it could be anywhere on the spectrum, but I think we all have something in our lives that we struggle to overcome, and we're constantly struggling to overcome it. And at one level, this was very encouraging for me, and I think seeing this famous Christian person's struggle with stuff, like, you know, hey, celebrities are real people too. I think that will encourage a lot of people, and definitely give you, well, it could and should encourage a lot of people, and maybe give you a new way of looking at, you know, how we struggle with our sin and how we approach repentance, and striving for holiness, and how we strive for holiness, but not letting it discourage you to the point of giving up. You know, so when this movie first came out, I was still working at a video store. I'm back to full-time filmmaking now, so I was still working the old day job. And I remember a Christian lady had rented the movie. Her big hang-up was the fact that he was an alcoholic, and that you're saying, I can't believe Rich Mullins was an alcoholic. But just the way it was like she got so hung up on that she missed, it felt like she missed everything else. And thinking back on that now, you know, at the time I hadn't seen the movie yet, so I didn't really know what else was in the movie, but even then I was kind of like, you know, I'm sorry, did you not know that Christians still struggle with sin? I mean, is this news to you? After we finished the movie, I told my wife that to me it felt like I had just seen what the Christian life is supposed to look like. I don't know, just this movie hit me personally in so many levels. This is up there for me with 7 Deadly Words. You guys remember I got all emotional in that review. You know, 7 Deadly Words kind of spoke to a part of my life, of kind of my family history, but this one really hit me harder and deeper even than 7 Deadly Words did. Definitely check out Ragamuffin. Don't let yourself get hung up on the stuff, but focus more on how he dealt with the stuff. Be prepared for an emotional roller coaster, but also be prepared to be encouraged, and let it inspire you to maybe re-examine how you live your Christian life and what you do with your faith. I think that's the big takeaway from this movie. So that's all I've got for now. Next week we'll be back to the normal silliness of the show. Yeah, we will talk to you guys later. May God bless you, and may God bless independent Christian films.